So hey everybody, good morning and welcome to the channel. As always, thanks for stopping by and hanging out for a few minutes. My name is Rich, I'm the channel host, and normally we're talking about building our small and medium-sized drone businesses. We talk a lot about drones and imaging and GIS and GPS and all the things that go into drone modeling, mapping, agriculture, monitoring, and so many other facets. Now, for many of you, it might be your first time meeting me on screen. I've been missing for the past couple of months, so I just wanted to give you an update on that. So at the start of the holiday season, I ended up getting a hernia. It took several weeks just to get it properly identified, going through a lot of physicians and stuff. Very annoying process. Finally, we discovered, yes, in fact, I've got a hernia. We had to do a surgery, and the surgery was still weeks out. In the end, this is basically a 2-month process, and this was it being sped up as well. So one of the big issues, so people are like, well, Rich, you could work on other things while you're waiting for the surgery, waiting for the healthcare stuff. Absolutely, I agree. If I had the flu or some other kind of cold or something, I could sit up and talk to you from this computer screen. By the way, this is probably going to be the longest video of me on screen that's been seen in quite a while. Because in the case of my injury with the hernia, sitting up like this exacerbated the problem, and standing exacerbated the problem. So I could stand for 5 to 10 minutes tops, and then I had to lie down and become so painful. Same thing with sitting up, just like this. So right now I'm still feeling the pain down above my hip here. We're still not fully done healing. We still haven't had the staples taken out yet. That'll all be done this Friday. And then we're going to have to ease back into how long can I do these types of videos, both for my classes and for the YouTube stuff. So that's where we're at. That's what's been happening. And now I want to address the title today, rebuilding your small drone business. Now, my drone business is nowhere near dead or anything. It's just I lost 2 entire months. December and January are always pretty slow on my schedule for doing drone work, so that was a positive thing. But I had multiple classes that I've actually started assembling the class outlines for, and I was supposed to be doing those end of November, December, and January. That was the plan. Unfortunately, I'm not kidding when I say I could not sit up. Or sit up for a long period of time. So basically, I had 2 entirely wasted months lying on a couch, staring at a ceiling. I think I've seen everything on Netflix that Netflix has to offer, and I think I never want to watch TV again. With that said, though, that 2 months is going to take a little bit to make up for it. We said no to some potential new clients. We explained our situations to them. Some clients understood the situations, while others didn't care and just needed it done now. So that is something you have to keep in mind as a small business owner. What happens if you're out of pocket for a while? What happens if you have an accident? Even if we're covered, we've got our workman's comp, we've got our medical, whatever it is that we're covering for, we have it. One of the parts that we don't think about, okay, I've got it taken care of financially. How about physically? Can someone else go out and fly the flights for you? Can they take the flight paths that you've created and utilize them? Of course, they'd have to be a commercial operator as well. So do we have anybody in the area that we can work with? Excuse me 1 sec here, just readjusting a waistband because, like I said, this is going to be probably the longest video that I've done on this screen in a while. Just, introducing and coming back. Now, give me 1 moment. I'm going to swap this around. But do think about what I was just asking you. If you are unable to execute the jobs that you need to be able to execute, do you have someone in your area that can easily take that over for you with some guidance from you? And then you could figure out, payment with them that since they did the flights, you can pay them full. Or if you're doing some of the editing, maybe you give them 75%, they take 25%. But so if you have any good folks in the area, I would reach out and build some relationships. And I have been looking around the past few months for other people who do similar work to us. Now I'm going to change the screen up here really quick. And let's go ahead and hopefully it didn't, there we go. There's the adjusted Yeti. So hopefully it did not have me out of focus there. So Now that we're back to work, it's not even February 1st yet, but we actually did go out and get an updated version of our flight for the Solstice Ridge 2 project because phases 2 and phases 3 are starting up this year. So they want to start showcasing those lots where they are in relation to the golf course and all of the facilities as well. So we did get out yesterday and no painkillers involved, nothing like that. We do follow the FAA guidelines. So I'm feeling good enough to where I knew that we could be out for a bit and get our flights and get our 45 minutes of both video and stills. And so that's what we did. And this is just the Solstice project, but I'm just holding this up. So I've got my SanDisk micro SD card in here. I'm going to pop that into my BenQ monitor here. And so what I didn't do yesterday after we got back from the field, I had a couple other things that I needed to square away for myself as well. But we did manage to, here's our SD card, and we have flights from the 14th, and then we have the work we did yesterday, and that is the work that is of interest to me. I'd forgotten to clear the card before we flew, but I had plenty of space. So now what I need to do is go to our client data, go to our Solstice package, and this is going to be third flight for 2024, and we'll call this Solstice, and January, let's see here, 28th, 2024. So we do this one every 2 weeks, basically. And I'm just going to check this. Okay, I was just looking at the previous one. So let's go into the third solstice for 2024. And here is everything that we have captured from those flights yesterday. So let's take a look here, just waiting. And these things do take time. So if you're doing bigger projects, keep in mind when you're offloading stuff, when you're processing models, when you're editing video, when you're transcoding video, you might want to step away from the computer occasionally and give yourself a little walk around the house, stretch your legs, especially if you've got some big ones coming in. So what was captured yesterday is 18.22 gigs. So we did capture images for orthomosaics, still images for MLS, and just for on the construction site, video touring through phase 1. And now new video going into phase 2 as well. We will be incorporating some new flight paths as well. So we have our original flight paths for phase 1 of the project. Now we need to build new permanent flight paths for phases 2 and 3. Phases 2 and 3 are down a hill, down a slope, and it's going to be a bit more of a challenge to get really great video and great stills of the homes because they are very close to each other. So that does make shooting some of the cinematic work a little harder to actually get done here. Okay, one thing that we're going to do while we're waiting for that to come over, and then we'll be wrapping this one up. We're not going to do a full tutorial here because this will take a little bit of time for you, but I did want to show you. So I'm pulling Metashape up here. And there's our Metashape now. And what we're after, one of the things that I do like with the Mavic 3 Enterprise that I've mentioned before, I like how they do these folders. So I'm just looking right in here, and I wanted to see, okay, right now I've shortened this one up to 211 photos instead of the 430 something that we were normally doing. Since nothing dramatic has changed in the model, we made the decision to only do one pass east-west and skip the passes north-south. Now, let me double check. All right, so that is that. Just making sure that we have the right stuff and that we didn't miss anything. So yesterday at 10:35. Okay, that is the only one. That's the poly copy, and that 211 is correct. So I always double check stuff on myself too. What I'm gonna do here now, let's just pull this one up, is I'm going to drag that right into Metashape. And so all of the images are now being dragged into Metashape here. And let's scroll back up. That looks good. So I'll go ahead and close it. So the first thing that we're going to do now that we've got all of our images in here for doing the orthomosaic and 3D model is we're going to go to the workflow. And we're going to start off by aligning the photos that I just dropped in here. So aligning the photos can take some time depending on how big the model is. Also what your settings are on it for the quality, for final quality. Since this is just an ortho showing, hey, new buildings popped up or new buildings haven't popped up, we don't have to get into super high-end detail. That's not what these particular models are about. Still, you can see this is going to take a little time. Had I done the north-south as well as the east-west, then it would be taking even more time as well. Let's go ahead and come back over here. So that was moving everything over. And what I would like to do now is let's go back to our new live project drive. And let's go to the solstice again. So we have all of the images for our model. Then we have our video flight at 98 feet above ground level. So I'll go through and edit that video flight. So that'll be part of what I do today. And then I'll also be editing the second video flight where we did 30 feet above ground level. And then we did a setup for still images 30 feet above ground level as well, per the client's request. And then we got some miscellaneous videos where we are flying the phase 2 and phase 3 to give myself some ideas to start planning permanent flights. When I plan those, I will bring you along for that, setting up those flight paths so that you can see it firsthand. All right, now you know where we've been. Now you know that I'm being a little tongue-in-cheek, but it is feeling like almost rebuilding the business a bit from losing several months being out in space there and not being available to do the jobs for our clients. Once again, I'm happy to say we got a lot of clients who understood the situation and understand when a medical issue comes about. You're not rolling somebody out on a hospital bed to do a flight. So you're going to let them go ahead and get the help they need, recover, and then they'll certainly be back with you to start working on your projects again, which is where we're at now. So we have several things going on this week, and item number 1 is getting Solstice done, and then we'll move on to working on a podcast for another one of our clients and a video podcast for them as well, and finally setting up for another flight that we've been waiting to get finished for quite some time. And it literally came available yesterday. So revisiting one of our old projects again, that should look pretty cool. Thanks for hanging out with me today, everyone. Kind of a rambling one. Yes, I'm still settling back in. And thanks for all the well wishes, too. I think we're rounding the corner. And like I said, Friday we'll get those staples out. And then next week we'll see how well we do and how far I can push myself. All right, everybody. We'll see you again soon. Have an awesome week.